Well, hello everyone. Today is Coding with Captain, so we're going to do a couple little Scratch demos. Hello everyone. I see Alec is here and Sky. Good to see you guys. Okay, so first, I'd like to say that remember, mrincorvia.com will have all of this stuff online. So let's go take a look at that right now. So this is mrincorvia.com. Today we're going to go to Scratch. So you'll go to Code, and you can log into Scratch. And at the end of today, we will put all of the coding we do under the Scratch examples so that you can review the lesson, and you can also copy the code yourself, okay? Okay, today we're going to do I can program in artificial intelligence. So AI, artificial intelligence, is basically every single computer-controlled player you might have ever played against in a video game. It is it's kind of like we think of it as the computer is thinking, but really the computer is just kind of following basic commands and that we have programmed ahead of time. So today we're going to do that. We're going to do the same game. We're going to do it in two iterations. The first iteration will be for people who are just beginning, maybe never seen Scratch before. I know that's none of my students, but you know what? I bet some of your parents, they're bored and they want to be like, what is he or she doing on this Scratch thing? So I'm going to show them just kind of the basics of Scratch. And then we're going to take the game, we'll make it a little more advanced for everyone who's already pretty good at it, which is almost all of you, okay? All right, so also, please remember that I have chat going on. So if you have any questions, or if you just want to do a shout out, or if you just want to say hi, then feel free to type in below, okay? Okay, so Scratch. So here is mrincorvia.com. We're going to click Login to Scratch. And I know that I have all of your Scratch cards with your usernames and passwords. Hopefully some of you remember what your logins are. If you don't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go into school today and pick up all of your cards, and then I can, if you don't know what your login is for Scratch, you just email me at my school email address, and I will email you your username and password, okay? Okay. Yes, Alec asked that very question. What if you don't remember? So, Alec, just email me at my school email, and I will send you your username and password today, okay? You can also always just sign up for a new account and just start saving your information there. You don't have to have a school account. What I really want for these exercises is that you just kind of remember to save your work so that it's still there, okay? Okay, today we're going to make a game about being chased by viruses. Kind of topical for today's world. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the viruses move and act all by themselves. So we'll program that. It'll look like they're making and thinking decisions, but really they're just following the commands that we are going to give them. All right, we'll start off very simple, and then we will make a more advanced game. And when I'm done with the ideas that I've kind of thought of, I want you guys to have some suggestions. Be like, make it do it this, make it do that, and then we can code it up together. Okay? All right, let's go. So the first thing we want to do here is we have Mr. Cat, and we don't need Mr. Cat, so we're going to click the little garbage can and bye-bye, Mr. Cat. Okay, we're going to make some viruses. So let's go to choose a sprite. Now, I've typed up here virus, and there is no there's no virus sprite. So you can draw your own virus sprite, but today I'm going to just use the ball sprite. The ball sprite has like many different colors. So I'm going to just use, the player is going to be green, which is going to be like a healthy cell. So here is our green ball, and we're going to rename the ball. We're going to rename ball. We're going to rename it to player so that we can keep track of it better. So this is our unaffected healthy cell. This is the one that you are going to control. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have a infected cell, a cell that has been infected by the virus. So let us go back. We're going to add the same ball again. Here's the sprite. And this time we're going to use, let's make it red. So we can click on it, click on the color, and instead of purple, we'll just slide that guy over. Ooh, look at that. That looks cool. Okay, so here we have a Ryer, welcome. It's okay that you're late. Go get a tardy slip, and you can come back on time, okay? Okay, so here we have our player, and we have ball. Let's rename ball virus. There you go. Okay, so we have our two. We'll click on code again. We'll go back to blocks. Okay, so we have our player and our virus. Let's start by doing the very classic move around blocks, okay? We use this all the time. Many of you are like, I know exactly what he's going to do. So let's make this guy, this player, this unaffected cell move around using the keys, okay? So we'll go to events. I'm gonna grab when space key pressed, make it big. And then we're going to grab move 10 steps. So when space key pressed, move 10 steps. What is going to happen when I press the space key, guys? Here we go. I'm going to press the space key. Pressing the space key in 3, 2, 1. There he goes. Okay, slides across the screen. Stella wants us to make it look like a sick person. Okay. Let's draw a little frowny face for Stella here. Let's just convert this to bitmap. That'll go faster. And let's use dark. And we'll just one eye, two eye. Oh, that's a very unfortunate looking person. And there we go. What do you think, Stella? Looks, there we go, a little better. A little unhappy person. Now let's make this person look a little more happy. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that is a lot better. Okay, so space makes the person move. Let's make him move up. So what we'll do is we will grab point in direction block, and we'll put it before our move. We'll click the 90 and we'll grab the little wheel and we'll make it go up. So there you go. Now when we press spacebar, it goes up. But we don't want space. Let's use up arrow. Now when we press space, nothing happens. We press up, up he goes. So when up arrow key pressed, point in direction up, move 10 steps. Okay? You're welcome, Stella. Okay. Let's build this again and now make it go to the right. So when space key pressed, but we'll change the space. We'll click the little menu here and we'll make it right arrow. And we will grab point in direction. We'll set this to the right. Oh, it's already pointing right, so that's easy. And now let's do move 10 steps. So now we have right and we have up. He's slipping off the screen. Let's bring her back down here. Okay, we got up. Doop, 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 doop. Look at that weird guy. Okay. Let's duplicate some of these. So we can just right click on this, or if you're using a Chromebook, it's, remember, 2-finger tap on the trackpad. So 2-finger tap, and you can bring up the menu and click duplicate. That brings up, that copies all these blocks. So we have to just change them up now. We don't have to bother dragging them out. Okay, let's do down. And let's duplicate that, and let's do to the left. Okay, this is all still part of the easy for people who haven't seen scratch blocks before. So here we go. We have these are like the famous arrow key movements. We use these all the time. Make our sprite move around in any direction we want. You can see that he flips upside down, so we can change the rotation style. I think we click on the direction here. It says direction field, and then we can do this left, right in the middle. Now he shouldn't flip around. There he goes. Up, down, left, right. Okay, so here we have a player now. So now what we want the infected cell to chase after our healthy cell. Okay, so we're going to click on the virus. You see all the blocks disappeared. When I down here in our sprite select window, I clicked on the virus, all the blocks disappeared because every sprite has their own blocks. So if we click on the player, they're all there. We didn't lose anything. So let's click on virus. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to build some blocks that make the virus point at the healthy cell and move towards him. Just like over here, and we said point in direction up, down, left, right. We want the virus to point at the player. Okay? So we'll start by doing another very famous combination of blocks, and that is our forever loop. When the green flag clicked, this is when we start the program. We want it to happen from the very, very beginning. And then we'll do forever, meaning always do what's inside this loop from the very beginning. So we want it to point at, so instead of using the point in a direction block, we want to use the point towards. Now right now it says point towards mouse pointer, which is not what we want. We want it to point at the player. So let's click the drop down menu and we'll click player. Evil, sad thing. Yeah, it does. He doesn't look very healthy right now. Okay, so point towards player. We'll grab that block, we'll drop it right in there. So now it's always going to point right towards the player, and we're going to have a move, and 10 steps will be too fast for this loop, so let's just do 1 step. So forever, point towards the player, move 1 step. When we click the green flag, ready? Click the green flag. There he goes. He's flipped upside down, and he is now sliding towards the player. If we move the player, he keeps going. So we can move him around, and the virus chases after our healthy cell. Look at that go. That's pretty cool. Now he's flipping around also. Do we want him to flip around upside down, or do we want him to be right side up? Ryer is building a pirate ship in Minecraft. Well, That's something that I'm going to try to do tomorrow. So you're way ahead of me, Ryer. All right, we're going to slide it around here. Okay, now what we can do is we can right click or 2-finger tap on our virus down here. We can duplicate him a whole bunch of times. So now we have all kinds of viruses, and they're all going to chase after our guy. There he goes. Here they come. So it looks like the computer is making some decisions, but it's just doing what we've told it to do, to always point towards the player and move one step. It looks like it's intelligent, but really it's just following the commands we've programmed it to do. Okay? There you go. We're almost done with our easy setup. This is, if you are an absolute beginner, this is a good place to stop. You have your player movement blocks. You have a virus that chases after the player. You've already made a pretty good game. We can get going here. See? You can just, it's kind of like being chased by zombies. You want to get your healthy cell away from them. So that's kind of the beginning of a game. Okay, you want it to face up? Okay, we'll do that. So let's get rid of all these. So we want, this is a mistake that I see happen a lot, is that we do the duplicating before we're ready to duplicate. There's more blocks we want to add onto this virus. So I deleted the other ones. So that way when we have a virus that is completely finished, then we can duplicate it and it will copy all the blocks also. That way we don't have to build the blocks again and again for every single virus. Okay, so let's point this guy up and down. Okay. Let us say when we want, if we get caught, we want the game to be over. And one simple way to do that is to say, we grab our if block, if then, and we want to do touching. So if it is touching, then we want the game to stop. Game over. I am good at Scratch. I've been doing it for a very long time. It's just practice. You can code almost anything in Scratch. I saw some of my students playing a Fortnite game on Scratch. So even though these blocks are pretty simple, you can code quite a bit with it. So we want when our virus touches the player, the game to be over. So if, and then we want touching. If touching, now here it says if touching mouse pointer, but let's change it to player. If touching player, then we will stop the game. So let's go to is it events? Nope. Control. Here it is. Stop all. This block will, it's like pressing the red button up here, stop button. Everything just stops. So this will be like our game over. And we can take this block and put it right underneath here inside the forever loop. Now, when the virus comes and touches the player, it stopped. Okay, it's a little game over. Okay, so that is it for our kind of our simple lessons. Hey Edgar, how you doing? He says Goog job. So that either means Google job or maybe good job. I'm gonna assume Edgar is saying good job to me. Okay. All right. So let's do a little bit more. You can see that right now when we click the green flag for everything to start, the virus is already right there. Let's change that a bit. Let's go to motion. Let's make him appear when we press the green flag, we want the virus to go anywhere on the screen. So let's grab a go to random position. This block will make it go anywhere on the screen. And we'll put it right under the green flag. So now when we click the green flag, the first thing that happens is the virus will go to anywhere, a random position on the screen. Okay, let's give it a try. Click. See, he jumped down there. Let's click again. See, he jumps, he can go anywhere. So now he won't start right next to our player. If we duplicate our virus a couple times, they all are going to start at a different place. Okay? And then you have to get out of their way. Whoa, I just slipped through there. Okay? And then when one of them touches you, game over. Okay, there is one last thing I want to do for, and this will be for a more complex build for students who are already pretty good at Scratch. This one is going to be, we're going to pretend that we're going to make a safe place for our player. Just like we are all sheltered inside our homes to make sure the virus doesn't get us, we want to build a home for our little self, make sure that he or she can stay safe from the viruses also. Okay, now this is going to be a little more advanced AI. We're going to use an if-else block so that there's more decision making going on by the computer. Okay? Okay. Like me. You are good, Edgar. Thank you very much. Okay, so we need to build a little home. So let's see if there is like a little house sprite. Is there a house? No? Home? There's a home button. Let's just use that for now. Okay, so this will be our home. Let's make it a little bigger. We'll click on size here, and let's say 125. There we go. Put our little house right down here. Now, if you want, you can paint your own, but I want us to just get going and look at the blocks. We can make it look pretty after we make it work. Okay, so here is our home button, and it can just sit there. I don't think we need to do very many blocks for it. So for what we want is we want when the player touches it, we want the viruses to say, oh, I can't get you. And the viruses only go after the player when it is not inside the home. All right. So for the player, we're going to have to build our very famous when green flag forever loop. Okay. We'll do it. Okay. Ryer, we're gonna play on Bedrock, but I think you can go get a free copy of Bedrock if you own the Java version. So go check that out. Okay, back to coding. When green flag forever, what we want to do is we want to be able to tell if the player is home or if the player is not home. Okay, so how we're going to do that? We're going to grab an if-else block. Here it is. This is our if-else block. And what we're going to say is if the player is touching the home, he's home. If he's not touching home, not home. Does that make sense? So let's grab our touching block. If touching, mouse pointer, we'll change it to say home button. Let's rename home button just to home. Okay, so if touching home, then what we want to do is we're going to need to make a variable. I know we've used a lot of broadcasting, but this is for more advanced coders. So I want to show you how to do it. Okay. So we're going to make a variable, and we're going to call this variable safe. Okay. This will say if he's safe or not. So if he is touching home, we're going to set safe to 1. All right. You can see up here in the corner, it says safe is currently 0. If if they're not in the house, then we're going to set safe to 0. So let's read this real quickly. If touching home, then set safe to 1. Else, meaning not touching home, set safe to 0. Okay? We'll snap that inside our forever block and we'll click run. So now, oh, he got us too fast. So now what happens is we have our little guy, and I want you to watch the variable up here. Okay? So it's going to, if we go into the house, see, safe becomes 1. And if we leave the house, safe becomes 0. So safe, oh, our virus got us. So let's move him away. So not safe, safe. Not safe, safe. 0, 1, 0. Got it? Now we can do stuff with that information, okay? So here is the more complex part. We have to click on our virus block, and we're going to tell it to do different things depending on if safe is 1 or if safe is 0. Okay? So let's grab a if then. So, and we're going to need an equals sign because we're testing whether safe is 1 or 0. Click on variables and grab the block safe. So if safe equals 0, right? If he's not safe, then we want the virus to do what it does right now, which is to point at the player and to chase him. So this is perfect. So if safe is 0, then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our blocks here. The same blocks we have, point towards player and move. It's going to go right in there. So if safe is 0, just keep doing what you're doing. Go get that guy. All right? Name the player Stella. Okay. All right. Player is going to be named Stella now. There you go. Stella. Okay, Stella, you're being chased by these viruses now. You gotta be careful. Stay in your house. Okay, so if safe equals 0, then point towards Stella and move. Otherwise, what we're going to do is the exact same thing. Point towards Stella, but instead of moving 1 step, we want to move, we'll move 0 steps. So now they won't move if we're in the house. Okay? Let's grab our game over blocks and snap them on the bottom, and then the whole thing goes back inside that forever loop. So here we go. We get a lot of blocks here. So here we have our virus. It's coming for Stella. If we move her into the house, safe equals 1, and therefore move steps is 0. The virus stops. Okay? And if we leave the house, what happens? Oh, it's coming for us. Get back in the house. There we go. Oh, it's getting closer. Getting closer. Oh, it got you. So what we can do is we can do something else. We can say if instead of just not moving, let's set it to -1. What will happen with -1? Let's think. So let's reset the game. Let's move them over here. Let's click the green flag. So here comes the virus. If we go inside, it's going to go at -1. There he goes. So the virus is now moving away. If we come back out, it still comes. Back in the house, move away. Not safe. Yeah, you're only safe inside the house. Aiden, we will be using the Bedrock edition, so you can play with on mobile, on like a iPad or a phone, or on your computer. Okay. So the last thing we're gonna do, let's duplicate these viruses a bunch. Let's have 4 of them. All right. So if we're in the house, last thing, let's make Stella go to home at this when we click the green flag. So she'll start in the home. So that means the viruses will always start moving away from her. And then when we move her out of the house, they start to come to get her. And you have to escape and make it back home. Oh! Touched by the viruses. Didn't make it. Let's try again. So here is a fun game. You can put some food outside or something that the healthy cell might want to get. And then you have to get it and run back home, scatter them, and go get something else. Okay? So that is it. We are going to, that's the AI. It kind of makes these little decisions, like just by using this if-else block. Testing, is the variable safe 0 or is it 1? It makes it look like it's making decisions. See? Like, oh, I should start chasing her now, and oh, I should start turning. But these are things that we programmed it to do. Not intelligent on its own sense, but the computer is smart in that it can follow our coding. Okay? Okay, guys. That is my little demonstration for today. I will put this. Oh, let's do one last thing. Let's save this. We're gonna call this virus game. Okay. And I will put this virus game example on mrincorvia.com. So let's go to mrincorvia.com. I will put it under code, and then I'll put it under scratch examples right here. Okay. And I'll put maybe the link to this video right there also. So that way you can watch this again, and you can look at the blocks at the same time. You can remix it, make it your own game. Instead of being called Stella, you can call it Edgar or Captain or Bob the Virus. I don't know, whatever you want. Okay? Okay, so that is at mrincorvia.com. Today we learned about programming artificial intelligence and how really they're just kind of like simple little switches in our programming that make it look like the computer is thinking and playing against us. But we know that it's just things that we've programmed it to do. All right. So I miss you guys very much. I hope that you are all well. I hope that you had a good time today following along. And tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I will be streaming myself playing some Minecraft. I will figure out how to get the server information to you guys so that then you can follow along and you can play along also. Okay? All right. I hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow, Thursday at 1 o'clock. Go to mrincorvia.com, click the stream button, and we can play some Minecraft together. Okay? I'll try to build a pirate ship or something like that. All right. Bye, guys.